Hello everybody, this is Brandon from expeditiousfool.com, putting mindfulness in motion. And today I wanted to share a personal story with me that might help some of you on your journey. So 4 years ago today, I was getting around for work and I looked at my phone. It was early in the morning and I had probably about 50 missed calls from my sister. I'm like, well, that seems important. I should respond to that. So I called her up, and that's when she informed me that my father had suicided. It was a rough hit first thing in the morning. Of course, I did what most Capricorn Sun, Virgo rising would do. I said okay, and continued to put on my clothes and went to work. I was going to try that situation out. That didn't work so well, obviously, but I tried. Fast forward a couple weeks from that, my mother was non-responsive in the hospital. She had been sick, she had a fever, and then boom, non-responsive in the hospital. She told us she was going to get checked out, and then yeah. 2 weeks after that, my grandfather, who was around while I was being raised when I was a kid, my dad worked second shift a lot, so he was basically my male role model, my grandfather. So 2 weeks after my mom was in the hospital, still non-responsive, he died. He died from pneumonia. Roughly about 2-3 weeks after that, my mom was back responsive. Then she died. It was an infection they couldn't stop. But during the time when she was back and lucid, I was able to have conversation with her, and the advice she gave me is what set wide open my awakening. So I want to share that with y'all today. She said, "Son, are you happy?" And you know what, y'all? In no way could I lie. In no way could I lie at that point. So I said, "No, ma'am, I'm not." And she looked at me and she said, "I've taught you wrong. There's no such thing as security. Go find happy." Right? At the start of it, I didn't know what that meant. My entire life, she had told me, be secure. I'm an earth sign, so security, big deal. Focus, focus, focus. But the truth of the matter is, I hadn't been secure up to that point in my life. I was 30 years old at that point. I hadn't been secure yet. I'd been working for it, hadn't been secure yet, so she wasn't wrong. And I just faced, within the matter of 3 months, both my parents and my grandfather, who was my male role model growing up, dead. That's not secure. Dealing with one death, that's one thing. A second death, a third death, and boom, 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 all literally the people that formed who you were. Yeah, that's a good hit on security. So I ruminated and I thought about it, but that's what started my deep, deep awakening process. Yeah, I've been a spiritual seeker. I've been studying mindfulness, meditation for about 15 years now. But that statement right there is what escalated it to the level where I'm at today. And going through after that, I had a whole lot of family that, there was distance. They couldn't understand why I wasn't coming for holidays. I literally didn't have a vehicle to get there. I had no way. Didn't want to put anybody out, things like that. So there was a lot of ostracizing that happened during that time too, which happens during a spiritual awakening. It aligns you. Then, fast forward a couple years into the future, Tried to relate with these folks again, tried to get connection with these folks again. They said they desperately wanted, the remaining members of my family. They didn't. For the most part. That's a lot of people say things, right? But a lot of people are fighting their own journeys, and that's okay. During that time, it would have helped me a whole lot better if people were more understanding of my journey. And I definitely understand that. And that's why, this is another piece of information that I'm adding on to it, because it's another lesson I learned from this situation, is that, from my journey, I learned that it would have helped had somebody understood what I was going through versus, gossiped or tried to say things about me or anything like that, or make up assumptions. I would have rather somebody accept and understand that I was on my process, my journey. So even for those that did ostracize me, either in the past or my recent future due to my awakenings, I accept them and I honor them on their path. I wish them the best on their path. I wish them the compassion that they couldn't show me, things of that nature. And these are all lessons to learn when you realize that there's no security, but you're still okay. There's no such thing as security. There doesn't have to be for you to be okay. That's the best way I can describe it. You don't have to have support beside you to be okay. You can have that universal love right here. All right, everybody. I hope that this message helps you. I hope that, my story can come through and give you a little bit of insight into the impermanence that we're really in. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Go out and have a great day on purpose.